let's go. Right, here we go now. Batman scoop on the mic, mixing the mix on the wheels of steel. This is what I was fucking born to do. Next, let's go.
My moves, my dances, my just like control over this whole body movement is crazy. Hello, Elijah. Oi, bruv. Blathers Kite. What up, Big A? Hope you're having a great Friday. Thank you. You too. Thank you. God, that really does it for me, this song. It really does it for me. Hello! Hello. How are you doing? How are you guys doing? Good to see you. Happy Friday. Fun Day Friday, as we always call it around here. Chogan, what's up? Luke Sky, then. Dad's number one. Leviax, thank you for the 1 year. Finally hit the 1 year mark. Thanks for all the great streams, Big A. Wow, very kind of you. You are Canadian, so I'm going to ban you. Thanks, though. Thanks for the year, bitch. Thank you. No, I'm kidding. Nipathy, thank you for the 5 gifties. Wins him out. Thank you for the 33 months. Boggy Spanky, thank you for the 36 months. Sensible Man, thank you for the 6 months. Hello, Mr. Marketer, sir. Looking happy today. I guess I am kind of happy today. I had a good day. I'll be honest with you, pretty lazy day. Yikes. Pretty lazy day. I don't think I accomplished very much on my to-do list. Did a lot of hanging out with my dog. I think at one point, Ari and I sat on the couch and watched this is gonna sound so stupid. Wait, I feel like you guys hear these things out of context, and then me and Ari sat on the couch and we watched a 1941 Donald Duck cartoon for no reason. For no reason. We did this for no reason. We watched a Donald Duck cartoon where it was just where Donald Duck can't sleep and his alarm clock keep going off. Was it a banger? It was pretty funny. I gotta say, we were laughing. We were hooting and we were hollering. Old Dizzy knew how to make them. He just wasn't very tolerant. Big A, I'm about to see Dune 2. I hope the sandworm lives. Me too, my Aptort. I do hope. You know, sandworms have just of a right to life as the rest of us. And even though they're big and wormy, we think, oh, we should try to kill them. Nope. They should be able to live and be free and have their own free and fair elections. And that's just my opinion. And also, like, they like sand. Well, get over it. Olive Man, thank you for the 18 months. Happy 18 months, Big A. Calvin with the AK. With AK. Thank you for the 8 months. Big A, I just watched Kung Fu Panda 4 today. Movie was mid-sag. Ow, my bones. Ow. Kung Fu Panda heads in shambles. You know what, though? I know for a fact, however mid the movie was, at some point in it, Jack Black says, skadoosh, and it gave you a dopamine rush. It hit the neurons just the right way. And so you got your money's worth. Do you know what I'm saying? I feel like you're overreaching. You want it also to be great? You want Jack Black to say skadoosh and have a great plot and fucking characters, and that's... You're asking for so much. Ixidor! Thank you for 29 months.
Let's go.
What's the schedule today? Do you think asking what's the schedule today is different than asking what the plan is today, which is banned? Do you think that somehow eludes you from my ire? Somehow you've avoided the carefully set trap that I put in to ban people for constantly asking you what the fucking plan is at the beginning of streams when I just want to talk to chat? What's the program today? What are you not doing today? Narrow it down. Yeah, I mean, I just told you how busy I was today. I had a lot of Donald Duck cartoons to watch with my wife. I can tell you one thing we're probably going to do today, and that is play Helldivers with Clint Stevens. That is on the menu. Helldivers with Clint, Ludwig, probably not Mango. That's a later in the day kind of thing, though. So until then, the world is literally our oyster. Chat, together we can do fucking anything in the next hour, 2 hours, whatever. Dude. I might even watch a house tonight. I also want to say that. I'm just putting that on the table. I'm saying it early and I'm saying it often. I want to see what that crazy doctor's up to. Choga, 69, thank you for the... sorry, no, you're thanking me. You're just fucking pogging, which is also good. Peace Whizzle, thank you for the 14 months. Sarah, 3349, thank you for the 29 months. Voodoo McGobo, thank you for the 5 months. G-Jerk, you wrote me a big message. You said, Atrioc, I've been stressfully searching for flights recently, and I've been filtering results to specifically avoid Boeing planes. First time I've ever done that when buying a flight. Yeah, I think you're not the only one. If you guys want to have a quick Boeing update, number one, the guy that was, now I'm thinking we can openly say murdered. His friend said to the press that the guy that died said to him, I'm not suicidal if anything happens. Like he told his friend that before he died. That's fucking crazy. That's a bad look. What unfortunate timing to suddenly want to kill yourself. Sounds like the depressed person would say. Yeah, no matter what happens, it's not suicide. Yeah, something like that's what he said. And also today, like literally today. I mean, there's like new story every single day. Let me. Yeah, there was an emergency landing, I think, in Oregon because a Boeing plane lost a panel midair. Yeah, here the quote is, if anything happens, it's not suicide. John Barnett, the whistleblower, said before his death to a close friend. I mean, that really adds up, bro. You say that, and then you die later by an apparent suicide after testimony. Very odd, very odd, very odd. If you're on a Boeing flight, it's no longer cringe to clap when the plane lands. Yeah, it just feels very likely. Yeah, this ABC reports told a close family friend, I'm not scared, but if anything happens to me, it's not suicide. That's fucking crazy. That's fucking crazy, dude. Horrible tweet to read while on a Boeing. Oh, man. I mean, you really can't. It's fiction. Fiction would be stranger than fact. If it's Boeing, I ain't going. I don't know. It could be crazy. What if we all get on a Boeing flight and just live that thrill, you know? Get that cutting edge rush. It's like a roller coaster. I'm taking... Actually, that's kind of a funny tweet. How do I say it? Just booking the shortest Boeing flight every day just to feel something. Something like that. Ain't like it used to be. Can't even kill a whistleblower without turning a few heads now. I know. What happened? Corporations used to be able to fucking murder a whistleblower, no problem. He said he's going to oscillate between debating Outer Wilds morality and German nuclear for 6 hours. No debates today! Ladies and gentlemen, today is for fun. It's Fun Day Friday. As we all know, this age-old tradition that I didn't just make up today is Fun Day Friday, where everything has to be fun. And we're all going to have a good time, and we're going to laugh, and we're going to smile, and we're going to chuckle, and we're going to chortle. All right? Making fun of Boeing does count as a Fun Day Friday topic. Hey, hey, hey. Da 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 da. Ba ba da ba. Hey, Big A, this is your first time chat message. I went to a family reunion and my wife's cousin is a graphic designer for an esports team and apparently has worked with you before. Showed the text message preview he has with you and we freaked out. Oh, hello, welcome. Your first chat message. When would I have worked with a graphics designer for an esports team? Not recently, but I assume this. I don't think they're lying. I did a lot of esports work back in the day. It's probably like this is probably 2013 era Team Liquid days. Like that would be it would be 10 years ago if they remember me. I did almost get hired. Received an offer to be the chief marketing officer of TSM after I left NVIDIA. And I thankfully turned it down. But I didn't hire any graphic designers then. What's TSM? You don't know TSM? TSM. They got the chant. Hey, any more Hitman content in the future? This is how I was introduced to you, and I want to see it again. I didn't see your full message, but I assume that's what you said. Yeah, we're going to do something, me, Spectacore, and Linkus. We're going to do like a fucking cool thing, all right? But I am not setting a date. Actually, I will set a date. Within 1 week of today, we will have done this amazing thing. It'll be really fun. Within 1 week of today, but I don't know the exact date. And I think it'll be fun. It'll be new stuff. Cool. Go-to pizza toppings. I love this question. Sorry, can I just say, Robert Robertson, I love this question. Do you know why? Because this is what Fun Day Friday is all about. Okay? Simple, fun, non-controversial questions that we can all enjoy without fucking debate lords in my DMs. Robert Robertson, let me tell you what my favorite pizza toppings are. I'm actually a pretty simple man when it comes to pizza toppings. I like pepperoni. Okay? I do. I like pepperoni. Tomato, cheese, pepperoni. Now, do I ever get crazy with it? Sure. I'll try other things. I like a good, almost like a supreme, a supreme pizza where it has a lot of extra stuff on it. But like the base meat for me would be pepperoni. Jalapenos I can do on a pizza. I can try a lot of different pizzas. I don't really have a problem, but for me, a classic single pep type piece. Oh, you like pepperoni, so you hate nuclear power plants. Yeah, no, I see. Pepperoni low-key sucks. I'm not even going to debate you. You know what? It's a food topping, so you can enjoy non-pepperoni pizza if you'd like to. Have you ever had pepperoni under the cheese? Yes, I have. Yes, I have. I don't think it makes that much of a difference. Like, let me tell you. Let me see if I can find my favorite pizza. This is my favorite pizza that I think... Wow, it looks so bad in this... They don't take good photos. They don't take good photos, bro. Wow, I'm not even going to show it to you because you're going to be like, this is not the quality that you're talking about. This is not... I swear to God, they have bad photos, dude. This is not fair to me. Give me something. All right, well, whatever. I'm showing it to you anyway. This is the pizza that I used to get in... SF when I was 21 years old working at Twitch, and I would go down after work late at night and I'd get this pizza, and it was called Village Pizzeria Van Ness. You didn't even see it yet. This is it. Okay, and it is just like very fucking tasty, and they put pepperoni all over it. And this is not a great photo, but it is very fucking tasty. I want you to know. Like, it's very, 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 very fucking tasty. Like it. Not bad. It's not mold. Obviously, it's just cheese. There's obviously not mold on the pepperoni. It's very obviously cheese. But this is a very good slice of pizza, is all I will say. And I really probably enjoyed it more than anything else. And so I've always been trying to recapture that high. That's like the best, just simple, pure slice of pizza that I've had. Big A, if I was to get into a fighting game, what should I get? I play Smash. That's it, bro. I'm not going to tell you what the best fighting game is. Right now, it seems like everyone's enjoying Tekken. Why don't you get into that? Get into Tekken, bro. Seems like it's like a good on-ramp into fighting games. Tekken 8. Get in, have a good time. But I'm a Smash player. So, we're different. Super fun topic here. What does +2 mean? I don't know what it originally, like what the joke came from, but it's like, I think it's a Northern Lion stream creation for jokes. And you would, it's a Germa thing? All right, well then it went through Germa into Northern Lion and the wider sphere. I mean, it's pretty broad based now across Twitch because I've seen it in a lot. Unless you are a W or L chat, I see +2s all over the place. It's based on China's social credit system. That's correct. It was actually created by Xi Jinping, where he would walk through the streets of China, and if he saw you doing a good job being a good citizen, he would award you +2 social credit. And it would add to your... And that spread across... that is sort of how it went. So thank you for your question. Answered. Big A! If you can start any business in the creator space, what would you do? What the fuck? Yeah, I would start a business to give every streamer one good punch in the face, myself included. You know, put us all down a peg. One good knuckle sandwich on rye. Big A, we could play a board game with chat. What the fuck are you talking about? Board game with chat? No, I don't want to. I don't want to do that. My boyfriend wears your bankrupt hoodie to all family events because he gets compliments. I mean, thank you. That's dope. That's once you've gotten it once, you can't. I feel like running it back is crazy. I've got. I mean, the bankrupt hoodie is dope. I think it's fucking hype. It's like if you're talking about family events, which means you're going to the same people. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, hey, grandma, notice anything about what I'm wearing? And she's like, yes, I like the bankrupt hoodie. I said it already. I do agree. A single compliment can change the trajectory of a man's life. I do think men are compliment starved, bro. Sometimes you're a dude, someone says nice hat or something, and now it's your personality. Now it's like you've locked that in. That is neurons all fired, alert, fucking everything's going. Change. This is great. This is me now. Yeah, 100%. 100%. I'll be honest with you. I think I used to always shave every single day. I used to be really into shaving. I used to be a guy that liked the idea of shaving. I used to have not the, Gillette, but like the fucking double-sided safety razor with the badger hair brush, I used to like the fucking, like the real fucking razor. I used to be super into it. And then I think, this is probably off recollection, but I recall Ari telling me she liked when I had a beard. She's like, your beard looks good. She likes your, and then I probably shaved 8% of what I used to shave in the past 10 years because of that. Like I still shave, but I usually let it grow. I do a cycle now instead of like, and that's how it works, bro. That's how fucking a compliment can shift you. A girl said she liked my banana hat 6 years ago. It's my most prized possession because of it. I love it like a son. You love it like a son. It is a banana hat. Okay, to be clear. So if you ever have a son, you're going to tell him, son, I love you. I love you almost exactly as much as I love my banana hat. It's tied. It's a tie. It's a tie game, son. And that's a lot. Yeah, I don't know. I think that would be underwhelming as the son. Don't name your son Banana Hat. Dad, why am I called Banana Hat? If I have a son, I'll buy him his own banana. You've thought about this. Oh, you've thought about this. No, this is already something you've had an answer ready for. All right. Well, far be it from me to throw you off your path, my friend. Salute. Godspeed. Some random girl told me she liked my curly hair in 2019 and my hair is unchanged since. That do be how it goes. And it can happen also. It can happen the other way. It can happen where you're wearing something that you haven't really thought about that much, or even that you like, and then someone hits you with the right dig on it, and you never wear it again. I feel like, bro, I'm trying to think of an example where this happened to me. I know this has happened to me 100% when I was younger. I'm just trying. It's been a while now. I'm trying to think of something. Oh, you're wearing that again? I was wearing brown pants with a nice green jacket, and some girl called me a tree. Damn, she roasted you. She dogged you. Yeah, you got owned. There's no getting around it, bro. Little tree boy. You got cooked. And now I'm sure from everyday sense, you check your outfit to make sure it doesn't match a tree. Nothing really wrong with that, by the way. What's wrong with trees? People like them. They make oxygen. One time a girl made fun of me for wearing gray shorts and a gray jacket, and I think about it every day. Dude, I just want, this could be true for women as well, actually, but I want women to know, if they don't know, that this is real. This is real on the men's side, where small statements do have a very long-lasting core memory impact. Though I actually do think this is true for women as well, because I don't know about the compliment so much. I do think there's a different dynamic there. But I do know that I once told Ari that I didn't like something. Not that I didn't like something. I was like, oh, I like that more. Something small. I was like, I don't like that shirt. I like that one more. About hers. And she told me later that she thought about it for a very long time and never wore that. Like, ever. She told me that, like, that was a real... Because I think what it is I never care. And so the fact that I even said anything made it seem like it was, but I think I was just making conversation. It's something I remembered. So anyway, I think it's true for humans. I think human beings, we lodge certain things in our brain and it sticks. This is also true for everybody's got like a story. Like if you talk to your parents and you're remembering things, you're going to remember so many things they did that like really impacted you that they don't remember at all. This is true of like all parents. You will talk about like, I remember like when I was 13 and you did this one thing and like it really, and they're like, what? They don't even remember it because for them it was like nothing, but you, for whatever reason, locked that memory in and it changed something about you. Like it became core. So that's just how we work, dude. We're crazy people. A guy I didn't know that well told me I look good without glasses. When I took them off, I haven't worn them since. You've been just stumbling into doors for for fucking 8 years. You've just been bumping around. Just, I'm hot though. I'm fucking mogging everyone. Try them. I think glasses, I fuck with glasses. I kind of wish that my eyes weren't perfect. You know, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I wish my eyes weren't fucking 20/20 perfect crystal blue, okay? And then I would love to wear glasses. Squeeze your eye. All right, tomorrow I'll go look at the sun for 3 hours. You know you can wear non-prescription glasses? I know I can. I kind of do sometimes. I mean, I wear the blue light ones. But I don't like in public. I don't walk around wearing glasses. But maybe I will one day. So you're romanticizing a disability. Yeah, you should make a twit longer. You should about it. I think I've caused a problem here today. I still smile about drunken bro love convos I've had 5 years ago. Fun. I used to shine laser pointers in my eyes as a kid, and now one lens in my glasses is thicker than the other. Fucking stupid. You're a dumb kid. That's crazy. That's so obviously bad, even as a child. You know what I'm saying? Your danger neurons were not firing. But it sounds like if you keep it up, eventually you might gain Cyclops powers, where one of your glasses is so thicker and sharp that you could like shoot a beam out of it and thus become a hero. By the way, I'm going to say this early and I'm going to say this often. I was scrolling Disney Plus with Ari today, trying to find something to watch while we ate lunch. We watched a Donald Duck cartoon. Whatever. I scrolled past the original X-Men movie with Hugh Jackman from like 2001, and I decided that I want to watch it with chat. It's fucking old. Who's going to know? So I don't know when we're going to do this. It's probably going to have to be a late night thing. Out of the blue, delete the VOD. But I do want to watch that movie. Because that sounds fun. Ari won't watch it with me. It's too old. It's whatever. She didn't care about it. bingo bango. I think we'll just do a nice little fucking, why not? Who cares? I think it'll be fun. Hey, Atrioc. Don't mind the glazing or the slight parasocial vibes, but I just want to say thank you for all your content. You're pretty much the only streamer whose VODs I watch entirely, and I genuinely like all your content and advice. It makes you feel a little bit more prepared for the future, no matter how fucked it is. That's very sweet. Thank you very much, H. Parmar. Your check is in the mail. Your check is in the mail. No, thank you. That's very nice. You know, sometimes it's not so hard to say one little nice thing to your streamer. Streamers have the hardest job in the world, and sometimes glizzy hands, ball, whatever. They can take it, okay? Maybe sometimes toss a little coin to your streamer, okay? As they work harder than witchers. Tip your landlords. You've never said anything nice to me individually. That's true. I guess that's true. Mike's Hardest, thank you for the 5 gifted. Thank you for the 5 gifted. Those are nice things. We're complimenting your massive fingers. So when you guys call me glizzy hands, you are saying it as a compliment. You are saying, wow, what robust fingers. Now, I still disagree, right? Because these are not any, they're very normal sized hands. But, okay. But since day one, this has been a compliment. That's so shocking to me because you guys say it with such a mocking, jeering tone. So for me to find out now after years that this has all been a compliment is just odd. It strikes me as untrue. It strikes me as untrue. It strikes me as if you're like almost only saying it now. Glizzy hands. I thought that meant you had sweaty hands because you were like grinding games when I first joined your channel. So you just filled in the gaps. Your brain didn't even think about it. You're just like, yeah, it's okay, fine, cool. Thanks for the update. I do appreciate it. What's Jim Bong? Thank you for the 6 months. First time shatter, big fan. Mike Sarge, thank you again for those gifted. P3T3, thank you for the prime. Funky Fresh, thank you for the 4 months. Lonely Star, I'm sorry that I missed that. Thank you for the 10 gifted. God damn, what was your message? Thank you very much. I'm sorry if I missed that. I appreciate it. Thank you for 21 months as well. What's on the agenda? We're going to play Helldivers later. I want to vibe with chat. I want to answer some questions. I want to maybe watch an interesting video. You know, could learn a little bit. But I didn't have like a fucking hardcore plan. I'll be honest with you. I thought that it would be just fun. You know, we could have a little fun. It's Fun Day Friday. Do you understand? And what would you do on Fun Day Friday other than fucking have fun? I made a funny chat message and a guy replied with Drake. I will think about that for the rest of my life. See that? That's almost too far. That's too far. You have to understand that the Drakes are often, in my experience, not authentic. They don't seem to come from a place of authenticity. I made a comment exposing a deep insecurity and someone responded with awkward. Dude, you know what? Try fucking. Get over it, you know? No, try being a streamer, dude, and you say anything real at all, and then maybe one person responds with like, oh, that, you know, wow, I never thought of it like that. And then two people are like, you just said a word wrong or something, or you said like, I don't know, or you had fuzz in your beard whenever you said it, and they go, yeah, nice point, but your fuzz beard. And they fucking, you understand? It's like not, there's no, it's, they will seize upon anything, right? And if they don't have anything, they'll make it up. I don't even drink coffee. When was the last time you tried to be real with us? It's usually glizzy this or China that with you. You think that's my content? Glizzy this or China that? I think I have been real many occasions. And I think I have many more topics than glizzy this or China that. I think that's a gross oversimplification of what I bring to the table as a content creator, to be honest. And so I refute your axiom point blank. Cactus, thank you for the gifted. Why don't you ever talk about the issues in Wichita, Kansas? Big A Madge. Okay. What's going on in Wichita, Kansas news? For my big Wichita, Kansas. Okay. In Wichita, there was recently one person seriously injured in a crash involving a motorcycle. 8:30 p.m. near Pawnee Street. A motorcycle and a car were involved. We'll update on this story as additional details become available. There you go. Only in Wichita, am I right? Such a funny response. Only in Wichita. Only in Wichita. Only in Wichita, huh? That's what you get for that's the Wichita life cycle, you know, the boom and the bust. Things go up, things go down. You never understand. I can't really. All this news is depressing. This is national news, but relevant to Wichita, I guess. McDonald's apologizes for a global system outage that had to shut down some stores for hours. McDonald's was shut down for hours, and it's major news in Wichita. Oh, dear God. They better apologize. Yeah, they better fucking apologize. God damn. Yeah, these are the number one top headline is
Storm Team 12 for
a nice weekend with small changes. We will have some clouds, but no good chance for rain. Let's go, dude! It's a classic Wichita weekend! Thank you, Storm Team 12, for keeping us updated. Yeah, it's gonna be great. We're going to get fucking buck wild, dude. Did you see this Boeing headline? Probably, but I'll click on it. Boeing tells airlines to check pilot seats after a report that an accidental shift led plane to plunge. I haven't seen this. What? Accidental cockpit seat movement caused the sudden plunge of LATAM Airlines plane. So if the fucking pilot like shifts around in their seat, it can cause the whole plane to plunge? What are they building this shit out of? Dude, I cannot believe that every single day there's a different story, sometimes multiple stories of different Boeing planes failing. In different ways. In different ways. I don't, that's crazy to me. That's, did you see that GM sells individual car data to insurance companies? Wait, what? Wait, what? Like individualized, like your car data? Or do you mean like broad car data? Let's see. Wait, what? LexisNexis is a New York-based global data broker. Okay. They have data more than 130 pages on an individual person whenever he or his wife had driven the Bolt over the previous 6 months. It included the dates of 640 trips, their start and end times, the distance driven, and accounting of any speeding, heartbreaking. And then his fucking insurance company raised his rates 21%. That's fucking crazy. That's fucking crazy. So they're taking information I didn't realize was going to be shared and screwing with our insurance. That's so interesting. Damn, selling it by person is wild. Selling generalized anonymous data of everyone's blended together so you could see like what on average people do is still weird, still not allowed, I think. But like but selling someone's personal driving history, starts, stops, brakes to get their insurance to rise is crazy. Something much sneakier has happened. Modern cars are internet enabled, allowing access to services like navigation, roadside assistance, and car apps. In recent years, automakers including GM, Honda, Kia, and Hyundai have started offering optional features to rate people's driving. If they turn on these features, the car companies then give their information to data brokers like LexisNexis. Jesus Christ! Okay, well, good thing to know. If you see one of these optional features that rates your driving, recognize that it's for money. They're selling your data to get your insurance to go up. Don't do it. The craziest part is that these MFs don't invest in me. Sorry, what? The craziest part is that these MFs don't invest in me. They sleeping on a real one for real. What do you mean by that? Who in this, the car companies, the insurance companies, the data brokers? Who of them should be investing in you? Everyone just keeps saying true, for real, for real. Real ones, no. I'm not. What do you mean? What do you mean? What are you talking about when you say this? For real though, on God, facts. What? I don't get it. What do you mean? The MFers. They should they should be giving you money to succeed. All right. No, you're right. I guess I don't get it because everyone seems to universally agree that I don't get it. So I get it. I get it. They should be investing in him. For real. For real. Oh. I did that on purpose. It's the P. I'm not. It's the hardest job. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. It's a dangerous job, and someone's got to do it. They should. Hey, Atrioc, what do you think of? No, come on, dude. I can't. It's too long. Your message, and inappropriate for Fun Day Friday. Hey, Big A, I live in India, and you stream when it's morning here. I have fixed my sleep schedule for the sole purpose of being able to catch your live streams. Thank you. Good morning in India. I guess that's fine because it just sounds like you have a normal sleep schedule. I didn't ruin shit. You're actually waking up normally and then just watching content you like in the morning and then doing your day, which is awesome. I do think... I do think having a good sleep schedule is fucking based. I never have it for very long. Hey, big guy, I live in Glizzy Land. Okay, I don't fucking shut up. Shut up. Wait, is there like a fun video we can watch? I realized that it's not Saturday. We don't need to get smarter. What if there's something we could watch that's like funny or interesting or like what? Or like hey yo, I'm learning something, but like I'm still enjoying it, having a good time. Things like that, dude. What about things we could all have fun and laugh at together? Rather than being so what do you think about the 32-hour work week that Bernie Sanders proposed? I don't think it goes far enough. If it were up to me, every American would work 8 minutes a week and get paid double what they make now. Am I a hero for that? I don't know. I don't know, but I do believe in this. Tough but fair. Dude, I've been saying that. Well, then join my fucking team. Join my political movement. Oh, JxmyHighroller.
My brothers.
Wait, I so want to watch this, actually. So, wait. Oh, yes, perfect suggestion. Thank you very much. So, if you guys don't know, I've been trying to get more into basketball lately. Actually, I've been succeeding. And we've watched some of his videos before. Recently, there has been a movement that I've seen all over social media. And if you don't follow basketball, you might not get this. It's called the We Done with the 90s movement, where people are rising up and posting clips of like all the legends of basketball, like Michael Jordan and everyone else from the 90s, and being like, these guys actually sucked. And it's causing this massive fucking civil war in the basketball fandom between like older heads and then these kids that are watching now. And like everyone's fucking... Now, I assume the real answer is probably somewhere in the middle that accepts that basketball gets better over time, but you can't discredit legends from the past. But that's boring. And so I want to hear about this new video called We Done with the 90s, explaining it.
We are in the midst of a civil war. The age-old debate of past versus present has reached critical mass, and sides have been taken. A revolution is taking place, and we're losing good men. Old school versus new school. Back in the day versus modern day. A story as old as time itself. I tried to ignore this bloodbath, but just when I thought things couldn't get any worse, it all got so much worse.
We done with the 90s.
Film of NBA games from the 80s and 90s coming to light, showing that the good old days were in fact not that good. This whole time, the punishing defensive legend was actually just a bunch of plumbers camping out in the paint looking for someone to hack. Shots clanking off the backboard, players running around aimlessly, wreaking havoc. And worst of all, Michael Jeffrey Jordan, the supposed greatest basketball player of all time, didn't even have a left hand. What is going on? Have we been lied to about basketball in the 80s and 90s? Are we...
They say that. I've watched a lot of these clips. You know, I was in a fucking rabbit hole, and they're like, Jordan has no left, can't shoot left, only shoots right. And then also they say, MJ really was that good. Yeah, here's the thing, is I think, like in all sports, like even like marathon running times and everything, like humans just get better because they learn about the previous ones. I think people are obviously better at shooting now. They're obviously better at shooting, especially from three, than they ever were before. Like, obviously. There's just no getting around that. But what I don't think is fair is to be like, man, they fucking sucked back then because they were the best of their time. I saw a really hilarious one that was like set in the future. I wish someone could find this. It was like a person pretending to be from 2040 and being like, we done with the 20s. Oh, I was probably gonna be
really done with that era of hoops? Or are we being deceived by lowlights, misinformation, and cherry-picked clips? Well, I think I've got an answer, and some of y'all ain't gonna like it.
Oh?
Today's video is sponsored by SeatGeek. The NBA season is in full swing, the MLB season is just around the corner, your favorite artists are on tour, and y'all are gonna need some tickets. Now you guys have...
Jimmy 10.
We done with the 90s. 5 simple words that have completely divided fans of the NBA. I've seen well thought out video essays, hard-hitting analysis, testimonies from past and present players talking about their experience in the league and how it's changed over the years. And none of those things managed to do what these 5 simple words have done in just a week. Soon enough, the clips came rolling in of players from that era dribbling off their feet, throwing up air balls, and putting together moves that you might see at your local high school's JV game. So, for whatever it's worth, here is my long-winded take on this whole discussion.
We found the tapes.
I want to begin by saying what this discourse has taught me more than anything else is that NBA fans today never actually took the time to go back and watch games of the past. Brothers, I have been harping on this for years, begging for fans of the game, whether you are new or have been watching for years, to just go back and watch full games. Not highlights, not clips, full-length games of eras from the past. And after
Well, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go back and watch like a fucking first round playoff game from 92, bro. Well,
after seeing this discussion devolve into where it is today, it is clear to me that most people never take the time. I'm seeing countless fans have this sort of awakening as they're watching films of these old games as if the footage was buried or lost and it's finally being unearthed for the world to see. It's been right here on YouTube for the past 15 years. You mean to tell me the same fans who chime in with a full-blown thesis on the GOAT debate never spared the time to even watch the games they were referring to? I guess
the internet,
does
baby.
explain a lot. Now, I'd like to think I'm somewhere in the middle on this whole discussion. I have said on multiple occasions that players in today's NBA are simply more skilled than players of the past, which has resulted in bigger stat lines and higher point totals than ever before. It's not the defense that has gotten worse, it's the offense that has gotten better. You know, that whole spiel. But I also have an appreciation for the greats that came before and how incredible some players of past eras were. In fact, I almost feel like I'm hallucinating seeing this 90s basketball slander campaign unfold in front of my eyes. It feels like...
Hot take, Atrioc could take on a prime Larry Bird. I mean, that's not a hot take. Everyone here in chat agrees. Everyone here in chat knows that, like, the basketball has evolved to a level. I'm just at a higher level of the game that I could absolutely posterize Larry Bird. And I will admit, I'm man enough to admit, I would lose one-on-one to a prime Michael Jordan because not that I don't have the capability of beating him, you know what I'm saying? But like I just think he's truly a savant at the game. And so I think he really put the hours in, and I wouldn't hate to take that away from him. Out of respect, I just think I could topple him. But, however, you know, let's be honest. If you go even one era, like Kareem, I'm destroying. I'm just absolutely destroying Kareem. Wilt, you know, like these are people I'm just fucking. It's not even close. It's not even close. So I just feel like we need to be honest when we talk about basketball.
Everyone's perception on the age-old debate changed literally overnight. I know that's not the case, but after seeing all of this play out, it sure feels that way. But today, I'm not just gonna show you some cherry-picked clips or unhinge this narrative even further. I'm gonna show you real film, real data, and proof of how we might actually be done with the 80s and 90s. And of course, if Michael Jordan really had no left hand. Spoiler, he did.
Okay. The game has evolved a lot.
I have been an advocate for the modern players are better than players of the past movement for quite some time now. In fact, as crazy as it is for younger fans to say Michael Jordan was trash, it's just as absurd for older fans to say the game hasn't evolved and gotten better over the last 30 years. Because that's all this debate really is.
This is what Blur says. It's so annoying talking to Blur about the past. Blur talks about old NBA and old Melee. Like, if you were to take them and put them in today's game, they would just be good. They would just win. And it's like, that's fucking stupid. I'm fully down with giving them credit, but he talks about, like Ken. He's a fan of Ken. He talks about these old people that, like, he's like, yeah, they'd be good today. They beat these kids today. And it's like, no, they fucking don't know shit. Yeah, like mind games and it's crazy. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. He talks about Tim Duncan, very good player. What era Spurs is that? He retired, probably, but like he talks about that like that they would just be unstoppable.
Young fans versus old fans, or fans that watched this.
Yeah, like early 2000s Spurs. Again, it's not that long ago, but he talks about them like if they were a team right now, they would be just undisputed, unbeaten, and that's crazy. I think he'd be good, but
versus fans that are watching this. But objectively, players today are much better than they were in the 80s and even the 90s. Specifically, the lower end of the talent pool in the NBA today is vastly better than it was in the past. I think great players would be great in any era, but with the spacing, the shot making, the emphasis on offense as opposed to defense has made the depth across the NBA today just way ahead of where it was in the 80s and the 90s. There was, without exaggeration, guys in the NBA throughout the 80s and 90s that were on NBA rosters just to accumulate fouls and sit in the paint and be big. Some of these players were offensively inept, and that was okay because their role was not to create offense. But in today's NBA, where offense reigns supreme, there is no room for these players. Now, you could and should go back and watch film of games, not highlights, from this era, and see just how limited the skill sets of some of these players were. The shot making, for the most part, was limited to set jumpers, slashers coming downhill for layups, and big men trying to muscle their way to a bucket down low in the midst of what appears to be a wrestling match. Catch a player off guard with the double team, and they immediately pick up their dribble. Simple things like guards turning their back to the basket 20 feet out instead of creating space off the dribble. Even players looking down at the ball while trying to get out on a fast break was very common in this era. And these aren't lowlights or cherry-picked incidences. This is just what the game looked like 35 years ago. But even without film, nearly every metric suggests modern players are more capable of players in the past. Free throw percentage was worse, three-point percentage was worse, turnover percentage was higher. They used to shoot more free throws, but still ended up with far less points. Now, this is not to say that this era of hoops was trash.
Do you think if you took Steph Curry, prime Steph, and put him back in like 82, that they changed the rules on three-pointers? Do you think that that even breaks the game so much that they change the rules? Like right now we're in a different they'd kill him for doing sorcery.
That's just disingenuous and flat out wrong. These were the best players in the world at the time. It was just simply not as good as what it is today. But maybe there's another layer to this that needs to be factored in to really understand why these players were not as skilled as the players of today.
Bum, bum.
Now, despite this being a very relevant topic for years, the idea of rule changes and how these changes have affected the game still remain a mystery to some. Players were a product of their era and the rules of their era. The first step to discovering greats of the past is to watch film of them play. The next step is to gather and understand the context of the film you are watching. When you see a 6'9" Magic Johnson go flying down the court with what looks like kind of...
I don't like a full-time basketball YouTuber telling me to watch old full games. That's your job, and then you summarize it for me in YouTube. I can't do that. I'm not doing that. All right? I'm not gonna go watch full fucking games from the 90s.
Out of a stiff dribble, you may think the man has no bag. But my friends, Magic Johnson did have a bag, but the rules in place at the time only allowed him to reach so far into it before he got called for every violation in the rulebook. Consider the fact that any move where your hand wasn't completely on top of the basketball was considered a carry. No 0 steps, no gather steps, you get 2 steps, and anything more was called a travel. No backward shuffles to create separation, no lunging into players to draw easy fouls. Here's a clip of Danny Ainge hitting Kevin McHale with a hezzy in the mid-80s. And the man thinks he just witnessed witchcraft.
But when practice sessions were completed, some of the most competitive competition began.
Double dribble! Double dribble! Double dribble! Double dribble!
Here's some more clips of players getting called for travels and carries, doing moves that are very typical and allowed in 2024. 90% of the moves you see today, the very method most players generate their offense, would be called for some sort of violation 40 or 30 or even 20 years ago. And this isn't just some cop-out or excuse as to why these players of the past weren't doing this stuff. The rule changes are real, documented pieces of NBA history. You can literally look them up. The game got looser, players grew up and shaped their game around these looser rules, and now they have free reign to let their basketball bag run wild. But that's kind of the point. Players of the past didn't grow up practicing 25-footers. They didn't work on a dozen moves to create separation. They played in offensive systems that focused on the team, the collective, schemes and sets that resembled something closer to college basketball, where ISO possessions were few and far in between. So they never developed an arsenal to counter these situations.
Right.
The rules of the time limited their game, which resulted in them having a more limited skill set than players today. If Larry Bird grew up with a three-point line, he might have been the greatest long-range shooter ever, but he didn't. And as a result, he didn't shoot a lot of threes, and he wasn't as efficient as the best shooters today. We can sit here and assume these players of the past might be as capable as players today if they were playing under the same rules and conditions, but they didn't. And I don't think we should assume that. The fact is, they played in a different time, and they became a product of that time. But that's not to say the game was trash back then, or that the superstars of these—
Chat, a Spectacor thinks Larry Bird would beat me in basketball. I mean, come on, dude. That's insane. That's insane. Bro, with my— I have full court pressure, okay? It's just like I got speed, I got quickness, okay? I got movement. It's just Canadian thinking is what it is. I'm sorry. He probably thinks a fucking moose would beat a car in a fucking foot race, dude. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. You don't understand, dude. He's completely out to sea on this one, dude. You in Stanz's body beats Larry Bird. I think me in Stanz's body beats anyone, dude. He's just built for it, you know. He's dexterous. A car doesn't have feet. Okay. Touche, I guess. Atrioc, you'd be tied until Larry took to the skies and then you'd be finished. Are you under the impression that Larry Bird is an actual bird? Like some sort of gigantic BoJack Horseman type creature that can flap his wings and play okay. That would change things.
eras couldn't compete in today's league. Now, as time goes by, I think it's easy to forget just how long ago 1980 was.
I'll be honest, he might be, and also I haven't watched film from back then, so I don't I don't know. He could be a bird. Like it's all theoretical with me.
Was 44 years.
It would be crazy if after this he finally convinced me to go watch film and I pull up a fucking Larry Bird game from back in the day and I see him literally flap his wings, fly across the court and dunk the ball. That would shock me. And then the announcers just don't even commentate it because it's normal. I think if I watched film and found out that was true and there's feathers all over the court, yeah, that would, you know what? That would be something.
Ago, if my math is correct, which is in fact a very long time ago. In 1985, Magic Johnson won an NBA title, Larry Bird won the league MVP, and Michael Jordan won Rookie of the Year. That was 39 years ago from today, which is the same exact amount of time that has passed from that 1985 season to the year the NBA was founded in 1946. Look at these clips. Do you think these players could compete with the likes of Bird, Magic, and Jordan? Let me answer that for you. No. But take the best players of the 80s and 90s, and could they compete in today's league? Absolutely. Give these guys some credit. Watching this today is the equivalent of watching this in the 80s. And yet this product is vastly closer to the basketball we see today than this product was to what fans were witnessing in the 80s. In fact, we can use different superstars as sort of a cross-generational measuring stick to see.
Well, this applies to all, like, look at speedrunning, right? So in the beginning, there's these massive gains, and then it levels out, and then the gains become more and more and more small. But the difference, the required hours to get those small gains is just as much, if not more. It's just like you get closer towards, like, whatever, quote unquote perfection, human limits. And then, yeah, it's an exponential leveling off, but like, it doesn't, the gap is not like nominally as big, but like it still takes just as much time. That doesn't invalidate his point. No, I agree with this point. I'm not invalidating his point at all. I'm agreeing. I'm adding to it. I feel like you're not listening. Sometimes I feel like you're not listening. I feel like you're just taking the tone of what you hear and just jumping. I feel like you're not. I feel like you're not listening. I feel like you are actually not listening to me. I feel like you're only listening to the tone, and then you're kind of trying to draw a conclusion.
Just how stiff the competition has been over the years.
I think you're using
Larry and Magic
vibes.
played Michael, who played Kobe, who played LeBron, who has played the players of today. And nowhere down this timeline was there any real jump or fall off in production or level of competition from one era to the next. Each era had their stars. Those stars crossed paths with stars of other eras, and no one era was clear-cut ahead of the other. If the 80s were so bad, then why—
You ever seen Kobe and Jordan trash talk? Wait, yeah. Type.
ahead of the other? If the 80s were so bad, then why did players of the 90s have to wait for those guys to get old and retire to have a shot at winning? And if the 90s were so bad, then why did players of the 2000s not win until those guys retired? We don't need to assume that adjacent eras could compete with one another because we actually saw it. MJ struggled with some of the guys that came before him. Shaq struggled against Hakeem, and Kobe struggled against MJ. LeBron struggled against guys like Duncan and Dirk. And players of today have struggled to get past some of the older players in the league who are a product of the previous era. Now, what we shouldn't do is jump 3 or 4 eras at a time, ignoring entire decades of evolution and saying the game back then was better or even as good as it is today. At a certain point, the knowledge and wisdom that comes from actually witnessing decades of NBA history, like some older fans have, becomes skewed and watered down by nostalgia and a generational bias. Superstars are superstars because their game transcends the era they played in, but they also played in an inferior league. These two ideas are not mutually exclusive, and although generational talents of the past would do just fine today, this same logic does not apply to the vast majority of the league throughout the 80s and 90s.
Bum, 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 bum. When did the NBA become not trash? Damn, bro.
So if the 80s were inferior to today's league and the 90s were inferior as well, when did the NBA become not trash? Well, it depends on how you look at it. Ironically, I think there's a pretty clear distinction to the skill set of players before Michael Jordan hit his peak and after. For example, the early 90s and late 90s, although being in the same decade, were massively different in play style and skill set.
Interesting.
Think for a second about the fact—
So it's kind of like when Atrioc entered the world in the 90s, basketball finally leveled up. I'm just drawing a correlation here. I wasn't in the world, and it was kind of weak, and then I entered the world, and then suddenly we just start to see a dramatic— do you want to call that the Atrioc effect?
that Magic Johnson was still in his prime in the early 90s, and Allen Iverson was entering his prime in the late 90s. In less than 10 years, basketball became a massively different—
Everybody made the same joke, but they picked a different starting year. Someone said, yeah, the 1890s. Then someone said, yeah, the 1790s. Then someone said, yeah, the 1690s, 15, 14. Then someone said the year 90. You guys did all of it. You did all of it, but you just kept— yeah, no, I get it. I fully understand.
Different game. By the late 90s, the players who grew up watching Jordan fly through the air and slice up defenses were in the league and were reshaping the role that perimeter players played. Guys like Kobe Bryant, Allen Iverson, Ray Allen, Stephon Marbury, Grant Hill, Tracy McGrady, Vince Carter. All these guys came into the league around the same time and were products of what they saw MJ do throughout his career. Players with a skill set that more closely resembles what we see today than it did to the skill sets of players of the 80s and even early 90s. This is where I think most fans might make the distinction of when the league really took a leap, not in competitiveness, but rather play style. You can go back and watch these guys play, and it's not too different than watching an NBA game today. Or you can point to the shift in play style that happened in the late 2010s, after Steph Curry redefined what makes a great championship caliber player, and the league adjusted to this new three-point heavy, perimeter-focused style of basketball. Similar to Jordan, the kids who watched what Steph was doing in the mid-2010s emulated that style of play, tailored their games to it, and are now in the league doing things that only Steph could do a decade ago. So if we're done with the 80s and 90s, where can we look back and no longer apply this era tax on these players? I think most fans would agree that the turn of the century is where the modern era of hyper-skilled players began. You can say objectively that this era was not trash, and most players of this generation would do just fine in today's league. But if that is the case, then modern NBA fans are holding a ticking time bomb, and they might not even know it.
What does that mean? Yeah, but what about Wemby? Is Wemby so good he's going to change the NBA, and then people are going to look back and they're going to be like, I see. He needs to gain weight. Okay. The 2020s were trash. Yeah, but am I correct here? Again, I'm an amateur basketball fan. All right, I'll be honest. I've been more interested in it lately. Wemby, what makes him special is not, like Steph, in that he has drilled threes to a degree no one else has done. It's that he is 7'2", that he's he's physically insane, and so. He's obviously very good, but it's more of that he's extremely good and then also physically insanely gifted. So you can't the lesson teams take away from that is to just get more people who are insane physical outliers. Is that you can't, 'cause you can't learn to be 7'4". I see. Okay.
When we are older and a new generation of NBA fans claim our favorite players, the guys we grew up watching, are not as good as the players of the future, what will you have to say? Right now, there is no one in the world who can shoot like Steph Curry. But inevitably, there will be. And eventually, there will be many players who can shoot like him. His records will fall, his percentages won't look as good through the lens of 2040, and although his legacy will be cemented, his actual game will be put into...
Can you imagine on fucking VR talk of 2040 and they're just roasting Steph Curry clips? Look at his shitty three-pointers. Bro, this guy's your legend? This guy's your fucking shooting goat?
To question. And based on the arguments I'm hearing today on why past players were trash, we will have nothing to say that will change their minds.
He couldn't
we
half court
know that
dunk.
Curry was the first to do what he's doing. He is a pioneer of the modern NBA. We have context to back up our claims. But if we aren't willing to hear older fans out today, what makes us think younger fans will hear us out in the future? Mark my words. There will be a day when young fans will go back, watch film of LeBron, and say he couldn't compete with players of the future. In fact, it's already happening. Fans saying he has no bag. Younger players putting up bigger numbers than he ever did. Skill sets a bit deeper with games that look more polished. It's all fun and games now to crack jokes about past eras. But our day will come too.
That's
and it
crazy.
ain't gonna be pretty. But Giannis could only run and dunk. Your era was trash. Y'all had a dude who couldn't get 2 feet off the ground running the whole league. You can scramble to pull up clips and show the numbers, but their minds will already be made up. This is why I think it is so important to have genuine, thought-out discourse about the game if you're truly a fan of it. But to all of the older fans out there, you kinda started this whole thing. For years, we heard y'all badmouth modern players, saying the league is soft, players today couldn't compete back then. Back in my day, real men played the game. Y'all cannot be mad that some fans are done with the 80s and 90s when y'all never even gave modern basketball a chance. Sure, a lot of fans never took the time to go back and watch the greats of the past, but let's be honest for a second. Older fans don't watch games today. They catch a stray clip on Facebook of LeBron flopping, and like an echo chamber of disgruntled old men, they just start firing away in the comments, agreeing with one another. Y'all asked for this. I've been watching the NBA since the mid-2000s. Kobe, D-Wade, McGrady, Iverson, Shaq, Nash, those were my guys. But
What I do is I go into all of these conversations on Facebook with old people or TikTok with young people, and I agree with all of them to feel like I'm part of a group, to feel less lonely. So I'll go on Facebook and be like, LaFlop, what a loser. And then I'll get, and then I'll be like, it was better back in the day. And then I'll get on TikTok and be like, wow, LeBron actually is trash for a different reason, okay? Because he's old, and and it's his old stuff that's bad, and I fucking want to support new players. And I'll just do both, and that way I'll get some thumbs up sometimes and feel good and smart and feel like I have friends.
I can acknowledge those greats and say they were incredible, while also acknowledging that that version of the NBA as a whole was not as refined or as good as it is today. Now, will I be able to make that distinction in 20 years?
Yeah, people say dead internet theory is because of bots or AI like producing all of this stuff. No, it's just me. It's just me typing all of these comments trying to get people to like me. It is just me going around being like, hey, like, LOL, this guy fucking sucks. This guy's, yeah, I just play both sides so I can try to get some friends. All right, that's it. I'm just trying to get friends.
Years when some snot-nosed brat tells me my glorious king was trash. I'm not so sure. Now, it's time to once and for all take a real close look at this accusation that Michael Jordan did not have a left hand. I felt like I was having a bad dream when I first saw this claim, but unfortunately, I was not. I feel like no one actually believes this. This is just some high-level trolling. But in an effort to stop this nonsense from spreading any further, I have no choice but to take these accusations seriously. So I selected 8 random games ranging from Michael Jordan's rookie season all the way up to the mid-90s, and play by play gathered all of his possessions throughout these games, charted when he went to his right, when he went to his left.
And you should too, as a viewer. As a regular viewer who's not a basketball YouTuber, I recommend everyone goes and downloads 6 or 7 random games and goes through and keeps detailed notes on when and where players use their left hands.
And what those possessions resulted in. And here is what I found. Jordan made a move with his left hand or his right hand 227 times. Of those 227 moves, 121 of them were with his right hand and 106 of them were with his left hand. Of the 121 right-handed moves, he passed up or got fouled on 54 of them, so I didn't bother charting those. 65 of these moves resulted in a shot, in which he made 63% of them and only turned the ball over 2 times.
Okay.
Now, moves that he made with his left hand resulted in a pass or him getting fouled 45 times, while 55 of these left-handed moves ended up in a shot, in which he made 51%, and 6 moves resulted in a turnover.
Bro belongs on my Reddit, dude. I swear to God. Oh, please, dude. Can I skip this part? I get it. I fucking believe you. I believe you. Here, give me this. Okay.
In 1.31 points per possession. Now, here are some prolific scorers from this season and their overall tendencies and efficiency in isolation. Keep in mind, this data includes both right-handed and left-handed moves from these players. And now here is Michael Jordan with just his left hand. So, yeah. I'd say contrary to what has now become popular belief, Michael Jordan had a left hand. And I cannot believe we had to dig into the data to come to this.
I will say, I do love this guy's channel, but he has built a multi-million-dollar career of finding a way to make a graph where he can put Michael Jordan or LeBron James as an outlier. I've seen a pattern here. Whatever graph you can set up to where he can make a data point and zoom out to it, he has really built, that is his three-pointer, and he's Steph Curry of it.
This conclusion. I think the overall idea that the 80s and 90s were a far less skilled time in the NBA compared to today is probably fair. I mean, you'd be crazy to think the game hasn't evolved in 4 decades. But to say the league was trash back then is just wrong. I think more than anything, it's the style of play and the way basketball games would unfold back then that really throws some fans off when they go to watch film of these old games. It's like looking at a box score from the mid-2000s and thinking everyone sucked because the games finished with final scores in the 80s. But the players weren't bad, it was just a different game back then. It was slower, more methodical, more team and scheme-based than it is today. And similarly, I think you could say the 80s and 90s had its fair share of bad basketball. But that doesn't mean all the players were bad, especially the superstars of those eras. That was just the state of the game they were playing in. I think some older fans have a skewed perception of how good the game was back then, but I also think they just genuinely liked that style of ball regardless of the evolution of the...
I feel like what he's saying, if I were to summarize it in one sentence, it's that if you go back to 2013, 2012 era League of Legends and you are a top 20 player, you are still fucking phenomenal today, in today's game. I think that's what he's trying to get. I think he's saying if you were one of the higher ranked players in North American League of Legends back in the day, that you still fucking cook kids on the fucking grill today. And I appreciate that. And I think that's powerful. I think he has a strong message.
The league. In 20 years, there could be a dozen players around the league that shoot like Steph Curry, but I doubt we will hold the same appreciation and affinity for those players as we did to the guy who pioneered this style of play and did it during the good old days. In the 90s, no one looked back at how the league was in the 60s claiming it was better. And so realistically, we shouldn't be looking back at the 80s and 90s claiming the league was superior than it is today, or even just as good for that matter. A lot of these ideas that favor modern basketball are becoming more mainstream as fans dive deeper into these topics and add context to narratives that have been floating around for decades. But I think this push to be done with the 80s and 90s is a bit overkill. We want to add context and nuance and knowledge to these discussions, not remove entire decades from it altogether. Sadly, I don't think any of this has or will change anyone's mind. This revolt against old school ball was either confirmation of what you already thought, or this entire discussion is just blasphemy to you. Are we done with the 80s and 90s? Maybe, but for the sake of the game and the greats that paved the way, I sure hope not.
Yeah. All right, for the rest of the stream, we're going to watch old footage of 1998 first round playoff basketball games at 0.25 speed so we can really absorb it. We could really fucking absorb it. That's my plan. Anyway, that I really actually like that video. I think I said really too many times. I didn't like it that much, but I liked it. I liked the video. It was good. It was interesting. You know, I want to have other things like that where we feel like we're laughing and learning and thinking, and it's not just about. I feel like I have so many. I've been working hard with the team, you know, on upcoming business and marketing and geopolitics topics, and I actually think I have quite a few of them coming, and so I would rather talk about other things right now to get a little break. Did you watch the humane.ai pin reveal? It's the most tone deaf thing I've ever seen. No, I didn't watch it. I think I heard about it. It wasn't kind of a flop. This is a fun video. What is this? We already watched this. We've seen this. I literally clicked it and it was fully watched. This is an amazing series on MMA. The invention of fighting for money. Fighting in an age of loneliness. Doesn't sound fun. That doesn't sound fun at all. That sounds aware, bro. I don't... Oh, Benjamin's got a new video? Hold up. The infamous hedge fund apology video. Fuck it. Fuck it.
With all the implosions I've seen, there's not much that rattles me anymore. However, there is one whose story still makes me shudder. A Shakespearean tragedy, so visceral, so personal, it gives me that sick-to-my-stomach feeling I've been missing for a while now. James Cordier was an expert in risk management option trading. He wrote a book, raised money from some very important people, and was even on TV.
Driving season.
Wow.
However, like most stock market gamblers, James had a kryptonite, a kink in his armor. I'll leave it to you to determine whether it was a technical error, cognitive biase, plain bad luck,
strippers?
or some combination of the three.
And probably a lot more volatility in the price of gas.
Because in September of 2018, what
Have I ever told you guys about the Enron guy who liked strippers so much that he was like the only one that got out of Enron with all of his money? He had $250 million in Enron stock options, but then he frequented strippers so often that he got a divorce. His wife demanded a divorce, so he had to sell all of his stock to pay for the divorce. And then, 2 years later, the company collapses. It's all a big fraud. But he is now like the second largest landowner in Colorado because he loved strippers so much. It's just an insane true story.
appeared to be normal natural gas volatility was actually forming the knuckles of a giant middle finger to this guy's entire existence. A few days later, this new artifact was added to the Museum of Internet Finance.
Good afternoon. This is James Cordier of OptionSellers.com. Needless to say, the events of this past week have been incredibly devastating for Larry and Rex. Looks like I owe you a Cuban sandwich. Also here locally, the biggest hockey fan in the world. Jeff, you know who you are. All I wanted to do was sit with you and watch a game. The next time I'm at the arena, I know you'll be there, and I'll pretend I was sitting next to you.
This is the story of OptionSellers.com. A complicated history.
911 with the travel. There's a car behind our building with a tube from the exhaust.
The phoenix that rose from its ashes, and the rogue wave that brought it all crashing down.
I am so sorry that I was unable to manage the rogue wave that hit us this week.
Rogue wave.
Eric from ES Invest, by the way, I highly recommend his channel if you haven't seen it. He was the one who told me I should make this video. He was like, oh dude, I rewatched the OptionSellers.com apology video. You have to watch it. You'd probably be able to write some good jokes about it. I'd already seen the video a long time ago, but thought, yeah, maybe I'll watch it again, read into the back.
Wait, is he going to kill himself? I don't want to watch if there's going to be a suicide. They said something about pipe. Has anyone seen this already? If he's gonna lose a bunch of money, then cry and then kill himself, I don't. All right, okay, we'll watch it. All right, well then, only I want to say is real quick check.
Japanese YouTubers are.
I wanted to know if Japan Analysis had made a new video, and they have. We should watch that after this. Those are always fun. Okay, let me watch this. And then I'll watch.
backstory a little bit and see if there's anything interesting. I knew the option
Okay, let's
sellers
see.
thing was only 150 million, so I was skeptical if it was going to be interesting. After all, Bill Hwang lost almost twice the GDP of the Bahamas in 2 days. However, after looking at the real trades, seeing the option sellers marketing, hearing about the actual clients,
Looks like I owe you a Cuban sandwich.
I noticed something I haven't noticed in a while. That
kinda want that
nauseating
sound
feeling in my
bite.
stomach I've been missing for so long. The problem is, of any implosion I've seen,
Oh, have I lost all the money in my account then? Yes. As a fucking Q&A email is rough. If you are a client of this fucking company, that's rough to read.
my stomach I've been missing for so long. The problem is, of any implosion I've seen, this one has the most to learn from. Because usually implosions have clues. And in the case of option sellers, we can see specifically how a path of decisions created a time bomb that was mathematically guaranteed to deliver the most gut-wrenching destruction of wealth imaginable. Far beyond Bill, the XIV guy, or any of the other characters that have appeared on my channel. Stonks are hard. And I view this story as a lesson and warning to anyone dumb enough to try to make money gambling in markets. So, here it goes.
Okay, I'm interested.
They say that when a new trader is born, a black swan delivers the child. And that's exactly what happened many years ago in a magical place called Wisconsin.
Okay.
James' first job in finance was working at Heinold, a commodity futures brokerage where he introduced customers to brokers. This was back in the old days when real-life people used futures to hedge volatility in commodity prices on their farm or ranch. Now we use futures to gamble on how long it'll take a Ponzi scheme to collapse, but yeah, this generation is too soft. Yeah, you hear that, Mom? This is a real job. Working in the industry, James's knowledge of corn grew over the seasons, to a point where in 1999 he was ready to start his first independent trading company, Liberty Trading Group, a fund specializing in commodity options trading, essentially using options to make bets about what direction the wheat, corn, or natural gas price is going. And this fund was an important point in James's professional career. In order to understand why, we have to go back.
Sorry, one other thing. I'm on an Enron kick. I don't know why. Maybe I should make a video, but I just want to say one more thing. Trading on commodity futures or energy futures, anything like that, is incredibly speculative, incredibly gambling. There's no way you know. It's so affected by things like natural disasters or whatever. But what Enron used to do to make money, one of the ways they would make money, is they would call their friends at a nuclear power plant or a plant that they owned, power plant in California, for example, and they would get it to shut down, causing blackouts in California. And then the price of energy, electricity, would spike up as people demanded more of it because there's been a shutdown. And then they would bet on that happening. And they did this for so long and so consistently and with so little oversight because, for many reasons, but one of them being that they were close friends with current President George Bush at the time. People died from this, by the way. They did this for so long that it caused like so much anger in California that there was a recall on the current governor, and they ended up getting fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, you can directly tie, not 100, but a strong link between Enron scamming people for energy prices to make money to getting Arnold Schwarzenegger as governor of California. There's a link. So I think this actually would be a good video.
Back 26 years to the founding of another company, Peregrine Financial Group.
PFG Best is one of the world's largest non-clearing U.S. futures commission merchants. We offer managed investments and trader education, along with our state-of-the-art trading software, Best Direct Online Trading.
Now, Peregrine in itself is a fascinating rabbit hole I could spend.
We get it, little bro. We all watched the Cold Fusion video. If you watch Cold Fusion, you're watching basic plagiarism. The Cold Fusion video actually shocked me because what they did was they took the 2005 documentary, Smartest Guys in the Room. They yoinked it wholesale. They added a bunch of fake extra fucking things in there. They did a fucking Illuminati thing. I mean, it's just basically yoinked all the footage from that video. Just want you to understand that. I want you to understand that before you fucking talk like you fucking know what you're talking about. Completely stole it. All right.
Hours talking about. But here's the abbreviated version. PFG was a futures brokerage founded in 1990 by Russell Wasendorf, an underdog story of a small-town Iowa boy growing up to do the stock market with other important people. Inside Peregrine's impressive $18 million headquarters, the walls were lined with bamboo. Massive floor-to-ceiling windows encouraged employees to spot broke people in the distance, and a 24-hour gourmet restaurant served a 2-ounce piece of salmon with 1 leaf on it for $67. PFG was the image of professionalism, ethics, and success in a notoriously shady industry. Wasendorf, the face of it.
PFG Best is a great corporate citizen. They demonstrate great corporate character. They're a company that their customers and that their neighbors can.
What? I feel like this guy is like, he's like a person standing on someone else in a giant jacket. I feel like he's swimming in that suit.
That's how it appeared on the surface. On Monday, July 9th, 2012, Blackhawk County Sheriff's deputies responded to a call of a suspicious vehicle outside the offices of Peregrine Financial.
911, what's the problem?
Okay.
There's a car behind our building with a tube from the exhaust into the window, and there's a person inside.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay. And the car's running. Can you tell if they are conscious? No, I haven't been down. I'm on the top floor.
Deputies found defendant unconscious inside the vehicle with a hose connected to the exhaust pipe cut into the convertible roof. A bottle of vodka was found in the car, and authorities later learned that defendant had taken sleeping pills which he had stockpiled during the previous 2 months. A suicide note left by Wasendorf detailed how over the company's 20-year lifespan he'd been orchestrating a careful fraud, embezzling more than $215 million from 13,000 clients. Back in the early 90s, right after the company's creation, Wasendorf's partner pulled his money out of the business, and Wasendorf didn't have enough money to keep going. So instead of shutting down operations, he, quote, used a post office, a scanner, and basic software to hide his theft for years, using Photoshop to change the fucking number, to make the numbers go up. I drew a little diagram.
That is true of a lot of fraud throughout history, which you can find. It's actually pretty simple. No one checks.
Also, Ocean's 12 years old. Apparently, financial fraud is also one of the things this meme describes perfectly. Here is PFG. Here are the regulatory agencies tasked with making sure this stuff doesn't happen. Here are PFG's clients. Here is Wasendorf's P.O. box. Explain that in a second. And here is Wasendorf. So there's a pool of money in these clients' pockets. Let's say a client deposits money into an account at PFG. Wasendorf takes some of the money and puts it into a personal account, where he spends it to try to keep the failing business afloat, as well as on personal stuff like a $100,000 wine collection, a private jet. When he gets the bank statements, he just changes the amount in the account back to normal using Photoshop and sends it to the accounting department. But Wasendorf is smart. He knows the feds are going to try to verify his account balances with the bank. So he opens a P.O. box, photoshops the address on some U.S. bank statements to be his P.O. box address, then intercepts all the balance verifications coming from auditors. This went on for 20 years, until one day a new electronic auto verification system was about to be rolled out, and Wasendorf realized the house of cards was about to collapse. That's a slightly oversimplified version of what happened. Wasendorf did have a position on the board of the NFA, which created some obvious conflicts of interest. There were some red flags that, in hindsight, seem obvious. However, the core of the fraud was just a P.O. box, scanner, and Photoshop, making the numbers go up and making everyone happy. In January of 2013, Russell Wasendorf was sentenced to 50 years in prison, where he's been serving ever since.
He is serving.
Where does James fall into all of this? In the early 2000s, James enlisted Liberty Trading Group in
I mean, look at him, dude. Sheesh. You know? Good. He's slaying, dude. I look at the fucking cool turned up collar here. This is like this fucking sick style. Like, okay, dude, finally.
To 50 years in prison, where he's been serving ever since. But where does James fall into all of this?
It's
In the early
Balenciaga
2000s,
Palpatine.
James enlisted Liberty Trading Group in PFG's brokerage services, and actually knew Wasendorf personally. Now, don't think that by me saying they knew one another, he had anything to do with or was aware of the fraud that was happening. There's no evidence to suggest that was the case, and if the agencies tasked with policing these companies couldn't figure it out, it would have been difficult for anybody. Instead, the PFG implosion was as much a shock to James as anyone, and it taught him a very formative lesson that would go on to influence the rest of his trading career. Risk management is priority number 1. Sorry, actually, just looking through my notes here. Leverage to the tits selling nat gas calls. After narrowly avoiding a blow-up, James found another brokerage in New York City, and like a phoenix rising from the ashes, OptionSellers.com was born.
It looks so bad.
If you're looking for a tool to help you gamble with options, you may want to check out Predicting Alpha. We run a model across over 2,000 U.S. equities to screen for options that might be
actual
mispriced.
ad?
We then use that to calculate your trade's expected value and back
Is this
test
fake?
to see our model's historical efficiency, which means you can lose even more money in less time. We also have a community where... Wait.
This is not... You shouldn't do this.
Wait a second.
Oh.
Who's that? Who is that? Yeah, I do quant. I'm a quant, you know. Yeah, big time quant stuff. Ever been with a quant before? Bet you've never seen anyone quant like this.
It's a bit? Okay. Okay. He's not actually trying to sell a
Full
course, right?
disclosure, this is not going to make you rich quickly or make you rich at all. In fact, most of you will probably lose money. Just kidding,
Yeah.
you there. Want to make trillions? Sign up for Predicting Alpha now. If you have an unshakable
Okay,
will
this is
to
an
trade
ad, right?
despite all common sense or logic, you can sign up for a 7-day free trial using the link on screen or in the description below.
Don't do this.
In 2004, James Cordier co-authored a book on option selling. $55 for this book?
Hi.
Isn't this like buying a house with a recent murder? Don't you get 20% off or something? And it's through this book, as well as various internet archives, that we can start to piece together the option seller's puzzle. Some things they did right, some things they did wrong, and some things that make you say,
The submarine
Let's get into the
method
first example.
of managing
Options
risk.
can be thought of as insurance, an analogy this book actually uses. Deep out-of-the-money options are insurance against events that are unlikely to happen. I sell you an out-of-the-money call. This call has a return profile that looks like this. Unlimited upside to the buyer, small capped upside to the seller. This is called the premium, like the premium you pay to an insurance company. If I'm selling you a call, it's kind of like selling you an agreement to pay you should the stock go up. Similar to how an insurance company sells an agreement to pay you when rats eat the wires in your Honda Accord 5 times. But unlike my car, you can't dump coyote piss all over the option you sold to prevent it from losing money. You can dump it all over yourself and then claim insanity when interactive brokers loan sharks come for your knees. If they turn out to be lone rabbits, rats, or groundhogs instead of sharks, you're in luck.
Do they
But
sell
selling
coyote
out-of-the-money
urine by the
options can
gallon?
be very dangerous for multiple reasons. Take this sentence from the book. Deep out of the money, lower
Yeah,
risk.
you all
period.
know that.
Or this other passage from the now deleted Option Seller's blog. Commodities
It's
have
so
leverage.
refreshing.
Yes,
You get
but
mine
that
in
leverage
quarts.
allows you to sell options at strikes deep out of the money. That means selling 30, 50, even 100% out of the money in some cases. This can allow you both time and space to maneuver should a black swan event occur. The same way a peloton will allow you to maneuver out of the way of an oncoming train, or an oncoming midlife crisis. If you want to be prepared for a black swan, use this advantage to sell deep out of the money options. Use leverage. Use the advantage of leverage. Do you hear what I'm saying? Use leverage
Borrow
to
money.
prepare for a black swan. Use leverage to sell deep out of the money options to prepare for a black swan. To prepare for leverage. To prepare for a black swan. Leverage. To prepare for a black swan. Prepare. I'm a gambler. If I didn't have a brokerage account, I'd be buying scratch-offs from 7-Eleven. But that, even to me, is such an egregious risk management error, it's actually respectable. Which is unfortunate, because I'm guessing James was actually a very good commodity trader. Right in his directional predictions of commodity prices more than he was wrong. However, by selling these deep out-of-the-money options, it's easy to let the lines between right and lucky become unclear, encouraging you to use more leverage. Which they did. Sometimes life just writes the jokes for you. But back to that leverage idea. Well above being jacked to the tits, there exists a point of leverage. The singularity. A point of leverage where destruction isn't just likely, it is mathematically guaranteed. No one ever knows where this point is exactly, and you can only really infer it from the past. However, looking at a spreadsheet tracking option sellers' client positions, we're able to see how they probably got close. Towards the end of 2018, natural gas supply was the
leverage
lowest
a lot.
it had
Yeah, I
been
do agree.
over a decade for that time of year. On Wednesday, November 14th, warnings of incoming cold fronts spiked natural gas prices 18% in one afternoon, to the highest price since 2014. This client's account was net short 218 of the February, March, and April calls. By multiplying the futures contract size and the number of options, we can see they were effectively 7 times leveraged at the time of implosion. A commendable amount, even by Wall Street bet standards.
Okay.
From studying the most violent financial catastrophes, I've learned there's a big difference between an implosion and losing a lot of money. Because in a proper implosion, it's almost like every possible thing conspires to destroy you all at once. You'll see in the price at open and the price at close columns, most of the calls 5 to 10x in value. But looking at the nat gas price, you can see most of these calls were never actually in the money. So how did James Cordier actually lose more than $150 million despite his prediction being more or less correct? Those losses were all unrealized, right? It happened in a few painful steps that I've pretentiously named the geometry of implosion, which I conveniently stole from someone who understands this stuff. The natural gas price spikes. As the price gets closer to his short strikes, losses start to increase exponentially. But because the risk to economic players in the commodity space is prices crashing up, commodity options have positive spot vol correlation, which put simply means as the nat gas price goes up, you die. The exploding nat gas prices make his broker say, whoa, we need way more collateral to keep these positions open. Position values dropping, margin requirements spiking, a margin call is triggered, where he has the brief opportunity to offer a few $1 million, his arms, legs, and firstborn child to keep the positions open before the broker starts forcibly liquidating.
I do
when
feel
this
like
inevitably
this is
does
not
work,
a
FRC
Fun Day
starts
Friday
aggressively
appropriate video,
closing
but
positions in a machine gun fire of market orders. And instead of the usual limited partnership structure that protects investors against these exact events, Option Sellers was actually made up of individually managed accounts, which meant each account owner could lose more than they invested. That means all their clients were not only left with a $150 million loss, the total value of all accounts, but also on the hook to cover a $35 million margin debt owed to Option Sellers' broker. An email was sent out to their clients titled Catastrophic Loss Event. That is never an email you want to see coming from the person in control of your money. And just a few days after the implosion, this infamous video was published to the internet. In a matter of days, Option Sellers had lost all $150 million of its investors' money. Despite being a relatively small fish in the stock market game, they managed to shake up the ecosystem, gaining the attention of at least 50 different law firms and the respect of Wall Street bets, an honor that is truly invaluable. What was it that destroyed OptionSellers.com? This video has admittedly cherry-picked some mistakes from a long trading career. It's easy to look in hindsight and see the different points of failure that led to catastrophic implosion, but I think it's always much harder to see at the time. Stonks are hard. Extreme things happen, and no matter how far that option's strike price seems, there's no such thing as free money. Just free oil sometimes? As for James, I do hope he's alive and well. Every implosion is a lesson, and even the smartest people blow up sometimes. But if it's any consolation, the butterfly effect of a gut-wrenching implosion can't be measured. Think about how many financial lives this video saved. The people who decided not to get into options because of this. The traders who thought, let's cool off on the leverage for now. The gamblers who now want to trade options even more. I think there's something we can all learn from this. I'm sorry. It's not about...
Is that saying the lesson of someone punting a bunch of customers' money on stupid bets is that it's a good thing because someone else might not do it in the future? Is that... I feel like that...
Trading to make money. It's about the lessons and friends and memories from raising $150 million to collect management fees. You do this for 1 to 5 years to the point where you can start your own futures brokerage. Then, Photoshop, P.O. Box.
That was the big takeaway for
The
me.
only thing worse
was the Photoshop P.O. Box
is the
guy.
Benjamin channel. Benjamin is a fucking moron.
All right, well, very interesting. Not quite Fun Day Friday, though. It's definitely more of a Get Smarter Saturday video. But I tell you what is Fun Day Friday material. The mysterious cult that all of Japan loves. From our friend Japan Analysis, okay? Never let us down in the past. It's always wild. It's always kooky. It's always crazy. And I would love to see what's going on with this crazy cult in Japan.
This was the moment police finally caught the notorious cult leader Sengoku Jesus. The 2-year-long manhunt was over, and now everyone wanted to know where he was keeping the 15 missing women, and if any of them were even still alive.
Fun Day Friday! Fun Day Friday! 15 missing women. Let's find out about that. We'll give you more fun than this.
Where Jesus. The 2-year-long manhunt was over,
Jesus.
and now everyone wanted to know where he was keeping the 15 missing women, and if any of them were even still alive. But before they could answer that question, the police released him. They just let him walk.
Why?
The public was absolutely stunned.
Why?
But this was only the first of many shocking revelations to come. This is the story of Jesus's Ark. Japan, 1975. 5 years before he was the most wanted guy in the country, Sengoku Takeyoshi was a 52-year-old door-to-door knife salesman. You might think he's a loser, but this guy survived World War II and once owned an entire knife factory. And you know what? Sengoku was one hell of a knife salesman. He was just a charming guy with a magnetism that made everyday folks trust him. And the ladies, they loved him. After he showed the housewives his knives, he'd ask if they'd ever heard of a cool cat named Jesus Christ. Most Japanese people didn't know the first thing about old JC because the last time he came over, some very unchill things happened. But if Sengoku was the one leading the Bible study group, now they were interested. But you're probably wondering, who the hell would go to a Bible study group led by a knife salesman? As it turns out, a lot of people, mostly young women. What really drew them in was the way Sengoku talked about his dark past. He didn't lie. He used to be a really bad guy, a spoiled brat whose rich parents would...
When does this come up during the knife sale? His terrible past. And then also, he's fitting a lot in this meeting. He's fitting in the knife. He's fitting in his past. He's fitting in Christ. He's inviting him to a... this guy's a real marketer.
Bail him out of trouble every time. The Navy gave him a really bad temper. So bad, it bankrupted his knife factory. But he was one of those guys, the Bible saved my life kind of guys. Only problem was,
I feel like there's more to that story that's kind of glossed over. My temper was so bad it bankrupted my knife factory is the opening to a story. I would watch a whole video on that. How does that happen and where do you get to?
Hated the church and hated pastors even more. All he wanted was to read the Bible and become more like Jesus.
Amen.
Teach like Jesus. Live like Jesus lived. So what did he do? He started a commune, specifically a Bible study commune that he called Jesus's Ark. You know, like Noah. Within a year, they had quite a following, mostly young women who ran away from home to live here, an 80-square-meter prefab shack on the outskirts of Tokyo, surrounded by a makeshift iron fence. By the late 70s, 26 people called this place home.
That's
As you could imagine,
ridiculous.
The parents of these runaway girls were pissed. Every day, they'd show up, banging on the walls of the compound and screaming into megaphones.
That's crazy!
But that didn't work. The women were now more loyal to a knife salesman than their own freaking parents. The mothers eventually got so desperate, they went to the police.
What is his riz? How do people go and live in this crazy shack compound and their parents are outside and they're... That's crazy.
Who put detectives on the case. Tensions got so hot that in May of '78, a police squad busted down the door of the compound. But it was too late. The group had disappeared. Sengoku was tipped off about the raid and snuck away with his followers the night before. They were now drifters, running from town to town and avoiding the police. Sengoku kept a tight ship.
Jesus.
If any of them got pulled over, even for speeding, and had to show their ID, they'd pack up and move to a new city the very next day. They hustled, working any job they could to make ends meet.
Oh my God.
He had them selling clothes, tea, seaweed, and, you guessed it, knives. When that wasn't enough, Sengoku's followers dipped into their own savings. One woman even sold her house to help them stay afloat.
Okay.
Over the next 2 years, they set up in more cities than Cirque du Soleil. Meanwhile, desperate parents were reaching out to every news organization they could, and after hundreds of letters, finally one listened. Feminist magazine Fujin Koron. In January 1980, they ran a full-page article titled, "Sengoku Jesus, Return Our Daughters." The media went wild, painting this picture of a smooth-talking cult leader who brainwashed susceptible young women and stole them from their parents. This was the year after the Jonestown massacre, so death cults were on everyone's mind. Some magazines started comparing Jesus' arc to Manson and his family, and others claimed that Sengoku had created a harem. So, Sengoku was now public enemy number 1. Every day, the tabloids pumped out new stories which only got crazier and crazier. I'm talking stuff like, Sengoku Jesus has already killed the women one by one. Was Sengoku Jesus behind the mysterious 300 million yen heist?
Possibly.
Yeah, some of these conspiracy theories were obviously nuts, but it shows you just how terrified people were of him.
Wait, quick pause. Can I tell you guys about a fucking heist that's absolutely crazy? 1 sec. I'm just going to jump in with a heist. Okay? All right. There's Atrioc heist story in the middle. Okay? In the 1960s, 3 surfers from Miami, Florida, decided after they had robbed basically small-time jewelry stores that they were going to go to New York and rob the Museum of Natural History and get the Star of India diamond. This is real, okay? This is real. 3 surfers decided they were gonna fucking steal, you know, one of the most valuable jewels in the world in natural history museums, okay? So they drive up from Florida to New York, and they spend 3 weeks casing the joint, just going as tourists and looking around the place. And during those 3 weeks, they're partying all the time. And while they're partying, they are nonstop bragging about how they're going to rob the Natural History Museum. This is real. They are bragging about how they're going to fucking rob the Natural History Museum. We are going to get done. We're fucking amazing. We're Chads. Okay, then, while doing their tours and their casing, they realize at one point there's a battery pack in the Star of India double-paned glass case. Beautiful. Let me show you this diamond. I mean, this fucking jewel. It's absolutely fucking gorgeous, all right? It is this gem that looks like this. It's this sapphire gemstone. Fucking huge. Has this big star. Like, you can see it right here. All right, it looks like this. Bada bing, bada boom. It's gorgeous. It's massive. Very invaluable, you know? Like this. There it is. Perfect right there. Perfect. You can see it. Okay? And there's a battery pack in the double-paned glass case that is corroded. The museum staff has just forgot to switch it out over years, and it doesn't work anymore, which means the alarm in the case doesn't work. It's just sitting there. You can openly see it. It doesn't work anymore. There's no power to the case. It is incredibly lucky. The case alarm doesn't work. Okay? So they notice that. So they get an idea. They also notice one more. Again, these guys are not like the world's greatest thieves, but they notice that the windows, because it's hot, you know, it's hot in New York, in summer, humid. The upper floor windows, like the 5th floor windows, they're always left open, just a crack to get a nice circulation. Okay? So they're just left them open. So they come up with a brilliant plan. They're going to drive in at night when, you know, there's very few people there. They're going to hop the fence. They're going to climb the fire escape of the Natural History Museum. They're going to shimmy along the ledge all the way around. And then they're going to put their foot down one floor, toe open the window, and sneak in. Okay? So they start to do this. And again, maybe I can give you a picture. New York. Yeah. This is it. I mean, I don't have a great photo of the spot I'm talking about, but like I can kind of show it to you and you can get it anyway. So imagine like this window is open and they're on this ledge and they put their foot down, they push the window down and they slip in the top. Okay? So, it's not this building, it's actually deeper inside here, but whatever, that's the idea. So they do it. They show up, again, 3 guys. One of them's in the car. 2 of them hop the wall. They go up the fire escape. They're shimming along the thing. At one point, a flock of pigeons like startles them, and one of them almost falls to his death. But fine, whatever. Not a big deal. They don't die. They keep shimming. They make it all the way here. They put their foot down. They push this down. They put a rope right here. They lean into the building. They get in. They walk up to the Star of India diamond. And they bring... You ever see one of those glass cutters where you can like make a circle and then cut the glass out? They try to do that, but the glass is double paned, so it doesn't work. They're just... It doesn't do anything. They can't get through. So eventually they're like, well, fuck, we don't have infinite time here. So they take duct tape, they put it over all the circle, and they just smash it, hoping the duct tape muffles the sound. This works! Because the alarm is corroded. Again, museum's fault here. This is a very... So they just smash it. This works. Now, there is museum staff that is circulating, but it turns out the museum guards, all they do is once every hour come by the area and shine their flashlight around and then leave. So when the guards coming by, they hide in a dark corner and wait. This is not kidding. This is how they get. This is their brilliant plan. The flashlight gets shined and then they just go back to work. This is what happened. Okay? So then they go, they smash the fucking, it's almost like a video game level. Exactly. They smash the thing, they get the jewel. And it's so easy. It was so easy to get one of the rarest jewels in the world. They go, why stop here? So they go down the line and they start stealing every major jewel in the Natural History Museum. They just wait for the guard to pass, then they make the circle, then they make the duct tape, then they smash it. They do it over and over again for hours. I think it's like a 4 or 5 hour heist. Finally, like, sun's about to come up. Fuck, we gotta go. So, so they climb up a rope out of the window, this time carrying a fucking duffel bag full of gems and tools. Much harder to climb up the rope than go down. Almost fall to their death, shimmy back across this thing, go down the fire escape, get in the car, and they get out. A miracle. Against all fucking odds, these 3 surfer idiots have stolen the rarest gems in the world out of a completely fucking goofy heist. Okay? They get in their car, they're driving away. It's all going smooth. They even, by the way, left of this building and right of this building are 2 police stations. At one point, when they're walking away, they encounter a group of cops and they think, oh, they got us. But it's just cops who are fucking chilling after work. They're just off, like they're whatever. And so they just get into a taxi, get away. It's fucking incredibly easy. It's just good evening, officers. It works. Again, against all odds, this thing works. Then of course, they get in their cars. One of them in a car, 2 of them on a plane, I think. They go back to where one of them goes back to their home in Cleveland to lay low for a bit. And 2 of them, I think, go back to Miami. But the next day, the police come in, or the staff come in, find all the gems being gone, call the police. The police freak out. And they scour the whole place for fingerprints and evidence, and they find nothing. Again, the guys wore gloves. They came in the window. Nothing. It's a completely perfect heist. And in their mind, they're thinking, oh my God, these are some of the greatest thieves we've ever seen. This is like a top tier, top level, fucking Ocean's 11 style Omega heist. Like, who could have done this? So the story hits the news. It's all over the news. Like, everyone's like, holy shit, amazing fucking natural history gem heist. The fucking greatest. At which point, someone in New York who was at a party with these chuckle fucks calls the police and goes, hey, I don't know if this is helpful, but I was at a party like 2 weeks ago And these three guys kept saying how they were going to steal all the jewels in the Natural History Museum. Yeah, they were at this hotel. The police go to the hotel. They check the room where the party was. They find out who owned the room, and they find the three guys' names instantly. So they got the luckiest fucking heist in the world. Instantly, this one fucking narc catches them. They are immediately caught. They find them at their home. They track them down. They get the jewels. And the entire thing is over. Now, these guys enjoy a very brief period. Where they are celebrities. So, like, while there's a trial going on, these guys are national celebrities as the surfer gem heist. They're kind of attractive guys, younger guys. And they're like, holy shit, these guys are fucking cool. They love them. And then, very quickly, I think one of their team, like, is so scared to go to jail that he turns on them and gives up everything, and their sentences start to get more and more extended. And then they all end up spending, time at Rikers Island. That is the story of the insane Natural History Museum heist in the 60s. Just thought you'd want to know because it's very, very funny how it worked out. And if all they had to do was not openly brag to strangers about their heist. And they didn't. By the way, after getting out of prison, two of the guys, I think, go on the straight and narrow, and they're fine, and they live normal lives. Again, they were only in prison maybe, it's the 60s. They were less punitive. I think it was like 5 to 7 years. It's not terrible. They were young guys. They apologized. Nobody got hurt. 5 to 7 years. But the main guy, I believe, someone is mentioning Murph the Surf, because he used to be a pro surfer. I think he ends up committing double homicide. Like he is now permanently tied to a life of crime after his time at Rikers Island. And now, yeah. So like this one party where three guys bragging turned this guy's life in such a direction where he ends up fucking in and out of prison for the rest of his life and ends up committing. Did this inspire Point Break? Maybe it did. I don't know. But Point Break doesn't involve a jewel heist in New York, right? So this is a true story. Everything I'm telling you is a true story. Exactly how it happened. Pretty crazy stuff, huh? Anyway, back to the cult. Sorry, I just thought that would be really funny.
Him. Around this time, a bunch of media outlets started receiving letters, this time from the women, apparently. They all said the same things. We're fine. We weren't.
You thought I was reciting a movie plot? No, that's a true 100% story that happened in the 1960s. Who would buy the story of any from them? Nobody. It was a dumb idea. You can't fence such a rare, priceless jewel. The only jewel they did fence, by the way, I'm sorry, there's a thing called the Eagle Diamond, which is just a massive uncut diamond, super rare, incredibly, just a rare that big of a diamond. They just sold it to somebody who cut it down. So it disguises where it's from, and they got, pennies on the dollar for it. They just lost the Eagle Diamond forever. That's the only money they got from the whole situation was selling. Everything else is pretty much unfenceable. Especially because they were caught so quickly.
Kidnapped, and we're definitely not a death cult. Yeah, that's a totally reassuring sentence. Needless to say, these letters were not convincing anybody. All the commotion soon made its way to the Japanese Diet, their parliament, where representatives called Jesus' Ark a group of fanatics and demanded an investigation. Next thing you know, the police began a massive 2,000-strong manhunt. They searched everywhere and came up with nothing.
Damn.
6 months later, the cops were losing hope and
If you just joined catching up, there's a guy named Jesus Goku, Sengoku Jesus, in Japan. Back in the day, I think this might have been the 60s, 70s, 80s, I don't remember exactly what it was. And he created a cult filled with mostly young women. He went door to door selling knives and religion and finally got a cult going. And now the parents of all of these women are trying to find their daughters. And he is traveling the country hiding, in case you're catching up. He hasn't done anything illegal. Bro just started a church. Has he done anything illegal? I guess not. I guess they've come of their own volition. It feels illegal, but I guess it's not. Although he is hiding from the police.
running out of leads when all of a sudden they got a call from a very unlikely source. An ambulance had just picked up a strange, ragged-looking old man who fit Sengoku's description. He had had a heart attack, but when they asked his name, he refused to answer. Just like that, they got him. The cops weren't taking any chances, though. They immediately put a guard right outside Sengoku's hospital room, but that didn't keep the reporters out.
自分のやったことはどうも申し訳ないと思いますか？勘弁してやってくれませんか？なんか信念でやったこと？自分の信念でやったことなの？
そうしか言えませんね。
で、悪いとは思わない。娘たちに迷惑かけたと思わない？病人なんでお願いします。
そういう簡単な言葉ではちょっと表現できないんですが。
Sorry. He said, I can't express myself with such simple words. I'm sorry I covered it. That's, and there was just...
The investigators followed the ambulance call to the dormitories of a printing company and hit the jackpot. There they found Sengoku's wife and all of the missing women. They were safe. But something was wrong. Before we continue the story, I'd like to tell you about the sponsor of today's video, Tokyo Treat and Sakurako. These are Japanese snack boxes that are shipped to your house every month. I have two to show you today, both of which have special Valentine's Day themes. Tokyo Treat provides exciting limited edition Japanese snacks. For their Be My Valentine theme this month, they have strawberry shortcake Kit Kat.
It's so good. I gotta have another.
Pokemon Candy Hearts. I got the rare Pikachu.
Oh my god.
And much more. I could not believe how much stuff they fit in these boxes.
Damn, I do want a little bit of Japanese candy.
They partner with local snack makers. Their Valentine's Indulgence box had this chocolate crunch thing. It was so good. A chocolate Danish, and even some tea.
Fun.
Each box comes with special tableware. This month's came with a cool plate. Both boxes come with booklets that explain the snacks and give allergen information. This Valentine's Day, consider Tokyo Treat or Sakurako for yourself or your loved ones, so you can experience Japan from the comfort of your own home. Use the code JAPANALYSIS for $5 off. Back to the video. So, the police had caught Sengoku and saved the women. Next, they picked Sengoku up from the hospital in handcuffs. He was taken to a cell and charged with defamation and assault. Everyone in Japan celebrated the news. Everyone but the last people you'd expect. The women he had supposedly kidnapped. The day after Sengoku's arrest, all of them got together and held a press conference, flat out denying that they had been held against their will. Not only that, they tore into the media for painting Sengoku and Jesus' Ark as some kind of dangerous cult.
とにかく当面はね、この問題を解決することしかないと思うんですね。
解決するのはどういうことですか？
一番ね、最善の方法としてはね、その親御さんちゃんと話し合いされてね、お互いのね、誤解っていうかね、それが解けて、でそれぞれね、自分の人生をね、自分の意思のままにね、こう歩かれることじゃないですか。
2年間の逃亡生活がね、成り立ったっていう逃亡生活ってやり方はね、
I mean, they're all adults, yeah.
だと思うんですけども、そのやり方が成り立ったっていうこと自体がね、結局ね、そのおっちゃんっていうね、人格ってものをそこにね、示してるんじゃないかと思うんですね。
Sengoku's followers respected and looked up to him. He was patient and kind. He was their teacher. Sengoku lived and worked alongside his disciples. He even built their first commune with his own two hands. He was just a great leader, simple as that. Needless to say, all of the harem allegations were completely rejected.
He's dancing around it.
So what made these women leave their comfortable middle-class lifestyles for a knife salesman's shack?
Maybe he's
in
a
the first
bad boy.
place? Well, it's something every red-blooded American knows a thing or two about. Freedom and meaning in life. They found his message liberating. As one woman explains, the pressure to excel was tremendous, but those who achieved it didn't seem happy at all. Why? The luxury jacuzzi that her dad bought for her was nice, but she felt happier in the commune's cold concrete bath.
Oh?
In the end, the whole Jesus' Ark kidnapping story was nothing more than a fairy tale spun by the media. Sengoku never even used the name Sengoku Jesus. They made that up too. After the press conference, the police had nothing to hold Sengoku on. So they had to let him go. They released him. He was free. That was it. So what did he do next? Well, he came back even harder. He moved to Fukuoka and built a mega commune. By this point, the police had already brought all the women back to their families. But once they heard that Sengoku was free and what he was building...
He's got an ark?
娘さんたちは全部親御さんのところに一度帰りましたね。
いやいや、帰りました帰りました。
それが全員戻ってきたんですか？
全員。
They all came back.
Yes, every single one from all over Japan came right back to him.
All right,
but
he's gotta
maybe
have
you're
something.
still not convinced. Maybe this story about a creepy cult leader guy actually being totally cool is a...
Damn, I don't know what he's eating, but I thought it was a huge plate of Totino's pizza rolls, and I was about to say I'm joining his cult. I don't know what this is, but it looks to me like the distinct outline of a huge fucking mega platter of Totino's, at which point I am in, dude. That is a fun fucking cult.
Not convinced. Maybe this story about a creepy cult leader guy actually being totally cool is a bit hard to believe. But you want to know the most shocking part of this whole thing? Everything I've told you so far took place in 1979, 1980. Well, guess what? 45 years later, they're still together.
Oh,
they still live in the commune. After the whole scandal blew over and they all came back to Sengoku, they started living a mostly normal life. As normal as it can be living in the Jesus' Ark mega commune, at least. The women started a restaurant back in the 80s, and it's done pretty well. I mean, it's still open, but more on that later.
That's crazy.
They all continue studying the Bible and practicing Sengoku's tenets of eliminating ego and helping others. In 2001, Sengoku passed away from natural causes at the age of 78. His widow, now 92, has led the commune ever since. It's now women only and has 12 inhabitants, most of them elderly. They rotate cooking and weekly tasks in the commune, which has dormitories and a specific area for Bible study.
Okay.
When the women go out, they always
This is
go
a
in
shocking
groups,
ending.
even for shopping. This is a rule that Sengoku made for them after the media scandal, and they still follow it today.
Well, it's
The
probably
restaurant they
fun,
started,
too.
it's called Daughters of Zion, and it's actually something called a snack, which is a Japan-specific type of business. If you've ever heard of a hostess club, it's kind of like on the same spectrum, but much tamer,
They're a
closer to a
snack.
normal bar. Generally, the patrons
That's
are men
funny.
who do pay to sit at the bar, chat, and eat hand-cooked food. But Daughters of Zion has very strict rules. Men cannot buy drinks for the women. Women can't even drink on the job. Unlike hostess clubs, the men are not allowed to sit on the same side as the women, and they're definitely not allowed to invite them to meet outside. The women
Okay.
put on some great shows too. Things like piano, singing, dancing, and Japanese theater. If you're interested, you can go visit. But please be respectful. They probably don't get very many foreign guests. You might be wondering, has
That's
anyone
funny.
left Jesus' Ark? And the answer is yes, a few people over the years. One of the reasons people leave is that the commune added a no marriage rule. Members who get married must leave. I guess the idea is that the commune is supposed to be all single women now. The members who get married
I
are
see.
still allowed to participate in all the activities and Bible study and stuff. They just can't live in the commune anymore. Oh yeah, by the way, I forgot to mention, they have a monkey. Guys, monkey!
This story took a different turn. It was more fine, I guess.
The Jesus' Ark story severely tarnished the reputation of Japanese media
Yeah, they
organizations.
really
The public
fake
kind of
newsed
caught
it.
on that the media spent years attacking an innocent man when the evidence that they were wrong was right in front of them. It would take decades for
They
the
seem
media
like a
to
bunch
regain
of
the trust of
chillers,
the
yeah.
public. Seriously, even when the Olmu Shindikyo, an actual dangerous cult, started popping up in 1989, news organizations sounding the alarm had to go out of their way and write, "This isn't like Jesus' Ark, we promise." Basically, everyone's come to accept that Sengoku never led a cult and certainly never assaulted anyone. A drama was made about his life in 1985 starring Biito Takeshi.
He's like a
Honestly,
hero.
this is one of my favorite stories I've ever put on my channel. When I started researching, I thought if I kept digging and digging, eventually I'd find something bad that Sengoku did, but I never found anything. I'm definitely going to go visit the Daughters of...
Damn, so he's just a good guy who just broke bad at 55 and just started to start a fucking Jesus' Ark? Or broke good? He just broke good and then made a that's crazy. He's the reverse Walter White. That's wild. Yeah, bro just made people just can't have hobbies. People just can't have clubs, I guess. That's really funny. All right. Well, cool. Good video. I learned that. I guess I shouldn't judge books by their cover. We should start a club. Sengoku? You guys are going to think I'm crazy, but his name kind of reminds me of Goku from Dragon Ball. I know, it sounds crazy, but really think about it. You might be onto something. You might be onto something. You might be onto something. Any shot for house? Well, let me see what the status is on Helldivers. I did sort of want to go Helldivers. Okay, Ludwig is fucking cringing it. Ludwig, okay, Clint says he wants to play Helldivers tonight, but he won't stream. And Clint is saying, I'll only play if you stream. Why? Why are we forcing Clint to stream? Maybe tomorrow, down to pivot. I'd rather run it when you can stream, so let's do tomorrow. And then Clint says, LOL, why? I'm not certain I'll be free tomorrow. Fuck. All right. Well, fine. I could be your hero, baby. Did you guys know that Clint Stevens' YouTube channel is actually run by Ludwig? That's where he makes most of his income. You guys didn't know this, but actually most of Ludwig's income comes from running those Clint Stevens YouTube clips that get uploaded years later, and that's why he forces him to stream to try and farm new YouTube videos. That is how all of his income really, if you ladder it back up. Good honest work, sure, true. Well, okay, well, I guess we're not playing Helldivers, so my plans are shifted. I could watch House. What time is it? What time is it, PT? We do have to get through. Yeah, you know what? It's House time. Fuck it. Yeah, fuck it. It's been a minute. It's 4:44 p.m. as always. I do want to get through season 6. I've very much said that. We have to get episodes grinding. House, season 6. We are on. Oh, dude, we are actually nearing the end. Whoa. This is the penultimate episode, second to last. If we watch this today, we could watch the finale tomorrow. Very interesting. Very interesting. If I'm correct, did we already watch this one? The Choice. Wait.
He's coding.
Yeah, we watched that one. Okay, so yes, we have 2 left. Okay, perfect. So, we are watching season 6, episode 21, set on May 9th, 2010. May 9th, 2010, #1 song. That's the song. That's the time period that we find ourselves in. Let me change my title here. We're going to go fucking House MD pilled. And the #1 movie in 2010, May 9th, was... Oh, still Iron Man 2. Iron Man 2. You know, Iron Man 2 gets a bad rap, but I think that I like it entirely because of this... well, just Sam Rockwell in general. I just think Sam Rockwell as Justin Hammer is so funny and charming and makes the scenes that it makes the movie more memorable and better to me. Sam Rockwell is just a great actor. And so I also love the Elon Musk scene. Yeah, because anytime I see Elon Musk, I go, ooh, yes. What is the UK top song? The #1 song in the UK. It's probably the US song from 6 months ago, bro.